What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode. I'm your host, Javier. So, next thing I want to kind of discuss, I'm going to just dive into this, is I'd finished working out this morning. So if you don't really know, I basically work out 4, 5, 6 days a week in the mornings typically. And I've been really just addicted to riding my stationary bike. It's like the NeuroTrack trainer. It's pretty flipping badass, and that carries over really well into like my mountain biking. I've been mountain biking in the mornings like once, twice, 3 times a week, depending on the weeks of what I got going on. I'm thinking I might go tomorrow morning because I'm just itching to go ride again. So with that, where I'm coming from is that I was finishing working out and just getting ready for the day, and I was going through some LinkedIn posts, and I saw this post, and it was really, really interesting. And it was from this guy named Alex Hermosi. And let me read you the post. And I ended up sending it to my director of sales, because we've been, not him and I, but hold on a sec. We've been having communications and conversations with our account executive team and marketing. And so there have been some things that we just haven't been seeing eye to eye. And that's fine. It's going to happen. Marketing and sales are always going to be butting heads. That's just kind of what it is. But something that I kept hammering them on this, and on the sales team, is and they're struggling with understanding this. And I want this to make this very clear, is that when you are doing marketing, you've got to have you got to remember that you're marketing to the lowest common denominator. I say this all the time in my meetings with my team, is like, guys, we are marketing to the lowest common denominator. And I'm not saying that our people that shop us are stupid. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying that we can't write in a sense that everyone has a PhD education. We've got to write to like the dude that went to vocational school. Now, if you went to vocational school, I am not knocking you, but you don't have like a 4-year college degree, and your thought process is gonna be completely different on certain things, and maybe like your interest in education is a little different. Like maybe your interest in like business is a little different. Like again, I'm not knocking it. I'm just simply saying we're just cut from different cloths, okay? And so, anyways, this post from Alex Hermosi basically says this. He goes, marketing hack: only say one thing at a time. Most people don't because they don't decide what they're trying to say until they're done writing. One of the best ways to do this is to see writing like painting in coats. With each coat, starting from the top, the color substance becomes brighter and clearer. So great marketing distills everything down to a single idea or argument, and make many arguments to support that point. Everything else detracts. And if you remove all detractors, by definition, you make something stronger. That's the post. So I shared that with Nick, and I just said, hey, just something I want to share with you. And didn't say yes, he didn't comment on it. I think it was good. And he's in agreement with this. But, our sales team was like, we want the emails to say this, and we want the emails to say this, and we want the emails. And I'm like, guys, we can't write emails like that. They're like, well, why not? Well, you can figure it out. You can do that. I go, because you're telling me that you want 4 different things to be sold on this email. Like, we're focusing on one thing and one thing only. And they're like, well, it's important that we get this across. Okay, great. We can do that on the next email. Not the first one, not the second one, not the third one. Like, on the next one. Like, these emails are crafted a certain way for a certain specific thing to happen. Like, we're trying to do something here. And they're like, well, we're getting tired when people respond to us on the weekends. Well, how many people are doing that? Well, it's just a handful of people. So you want me to change all of my messaging for a handful of people? And crickets. And so the other part is like we want all these things in there. That doesn't work. And the best example I gave is like, when was the last time you barfed on someone when you try to sell them something? You sold them everything and they actually bought. And then crickets. No one said anything. I go, exactly, because they're confused, and a confused mind never buys. You need to focus on one thing. And when you guys are on the phones, all I hear is that you guys are pushing design deposits. You guys are only pushing to sell the design of a wrap, because as soon as they see a design of a wrap, they get excited and then they're more inclined to buy. So why should we talk about everything else that we do other than designs? And I've been pushing that hard. And so what I want my audience on here to get is this. This is going to probably be a short episode. You should be excited about this versus the 30 minutes. Is when you write emails, it should be very focused on one thing. It cannot be multiple things. One focus. Strong arguments on the one thing you're selling. So you're a facility management company, and let's say someone comes in as an HVAC lead, then you focus on HVAC stuff. You don't start talking about plumbing. You don't start talking about electrical. You don't start talking about handyman services. You focus on HVAC. Like, guys, this is how you do it. And this is what you need. And this is why you want to have an HVAC program through us. And this is what you're going to experience whenever you try to go, manage it yourself. And these are the challenges that you're going to go through. And by only us, you can only succeed in doing this, this, and this. And this takes off this entire level of whatever you're doing and frees up your time. Like, do you see what the case that I'm building here? And we're focusing on one thing. We're not selling everything. So, like, what you're not trying to be is you're not trying to be everything to everyone. Okay? Like, some people say, well, example, well, water is everything to everyone. I go, no. Water is not everything to everyone. There is Voss water, right? Let's go look at Voss. Voss water price. Just so that we get an understanding. 4-pack of Voss water, 12.7 ounces. Okay, a 4-pack, $18.50. That's like $6. Is that $6? Yeah. No. 5. It's like $4.50. It's like $4.50 a bottle for Voss artesian sparkling water. That's a lot of money. Right? Like, you can get a gallon of water for $4 or less. You can get go to Costco and buy bottles of water for $8. The entire a case of 42 for $8. So water is not for everybody. There are certain people that will drink Voss, and there's a reason why Voss hasn't gone out of business, because they found a demographic that people will buy a 4-pack of water for $18.50 on Amazon. Okay? And then there's another, I'm in this demographic that I'll go to Costco and buy $8 for 42 bottles that last me 6 months. Or in my household, 3 days, because the kids drink half of it and then trash the rest. But that's beside the point. So what I'm saying is that we don't market things and talk about all the things that we offer and say well, everyone's our customer. Well, water is not like that. Like water companies know exactly who their customer base is, and the same thing with vehicle companies. Ford is not going to try to sell something all fancy to people that drive a Benz. No. I mean, maybe they'll say hey, you should probably buy a Lincoln, which I think is built by Ford as well too, but you get where I'm coming from. So, what I want to kind of just really hammer into this is that when you're writing email, when you're writing copy, hit and focus on one thing. Okay? And it can be short and sweet. It can be 100 words. It can be 200 words, but focus on one thing. That's it. Focus on one thing. If the goal of the email is to simply get them to reply, then build the case on what the problem is. Talk about that problem and be listen, I can solve this problem if you simply reply to this, and we can get you, going in 10 minutes. or schedule an appointment and I can evaluate to see if you have this problem and we can fix it for you in 2 days. Like something like that. So if you're listening to this, yes, I'm drinking bourbon. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm getting to, is that when you're writing email copy, you don't want to be all over the place. You don't want to be barfing on your people. And the more knowledgeable you are about your product and services, the less knowledgeable you are about knowing what people want. It sounds weird, but like, you should almost be dumb enough to not know everything about your business and just know enough to what sells the most. That's it. Like, you should be dumb enough to not know everything about your business and just know the best thing that sells, or the best things that sell the best. And that's it. That's pretty much where it comes from. Like, I remember reading a story about this dude doing door-to-door sales. First like few weeks, he was like crushing it because he wasn't learning about all the stupid chemicals on like this pesticide stuff that they're selling for like bug killing, whatever. And then, after he got more knowledgeable about the product, then he started like barfing on them about like, well, this is like all natural and it comes from this and it comes from like the Goya seed, and I just made that up, but it, and people are like, what? And they were confused and they had too much stuff to think about. But when you focus and you focus on one thing only and you hammer that in, that's going to help. So think about that. For your property management or facility management company, like, hammer one thing and just build the argument, like several arguments on that one thing, and hammer it. When you focus on that, then give them a simple call to action. Hey, we can solve this for you. Very simple. Let's jump on a call for 30 minutes. Let's discuss it and see if this is your problem. And if it's not, then we part ways and, we're friends and we might have a beer on the next conference we go hang out at. Pretty simple, So that's something that I want you guys to think about when you're writing email, is the singular focus of the email and what it's trying to do. That's it. If you can do that, then I really do think that that's going to help you convert more. It's going to help you just keep things really tight, keep people's attention. But don't talk about everything. Don't try to sell everything. Don't say like, well, we do a lot of stuff, or our business is just really complex. I get that your business is complex, but don't make it complex in an email. Like, just talk about like the badass shit that you do, like the one thing that you're just badass at. The best example is, what sets us apart is that we sell design services for $250 or your money back. Guaranteed, if you don't love the design, you get your money back. So guess what our sales team just focuses on selling? Just designs. That's it. And if they're just focusing on designs, well, that tells me that it's a focused thing. So people are just hearing that. Then we want the messaging in the email to be the same. We want that to be iterated the same way, so that they're like, man, this is really cool. I can buy design and you'll design my wrap for me and I can get on my exact vehicle. Like, this is amazing. Like, that's what we're looking for. Make sense? All right. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. But that was the big thing I wanted to kind of nail today. This was a short episode. This is cool. All right. So 3 things I always ask at the end of my episodes. Number 1, connect with me on LinkedIn. You can find me on linkedin.com/in/Javier Lozano Jr. You can just LinkedIn search me as well too. Share this podcast with somebody, like DM them, send a text message, like, but we want to grow this podcast. So please help us grow this podcast. We want you guys to be a part of this. And then number 3, the last one, is give us a 5-star review, please. Like, if you're enjoying this podcast, you're finding value out of this. A, I appreciate you guys actually listening to this, but B, take 2 seconds, literally just go into Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review, and that would be awesome. Or go to Spotify and the same thing. All right. So if you can do those 3 things, that'd be great. Other than that, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you all later.